If you're over 60 and waking up 3, 4, maybe 5 times nightly to use the bathroom, what I am about to reveal could be the most dangerous health threat you've ever been warned about. Every time you get up to urinate at night, your blood pressure spikes dangerously, your heart rate increases, and your nervous system goes into full alert mode. Here's what's terrifying. Seniors with nocturia face a 1.8-fold increased risk of hip fractures and 27% higher risk of death compared to those who sleep through the night. When you repeatedly arise from bed in a sleepy state to walk to a dark bathroom, you're putting your life at risk. The shocking truth, up to 80% of people over 80 wake at least once per night to urinate. And simple daily habits most seniors think are harmless are making their nighttime bathroom trips dramatically worse. That afternoon diuretic for blood pressure. Evening tea for relaxation. Elevating your legs while watching TV. These seemingly innocent habits could be turning your nights into a dangerous obstacle course. What's most alarming? Nocturia increases cardiovascular risk in ways doctors never explain. Studies show each nighttime awakening triggers the same blood pressure and heart rate changes that occur during morning hours when most heart attacks happen. You're subjecting your cardiovascular system to multiple mini-morning surges every night. But here's hope. 3 specific evidence-based habits can reduce nighttime awakenings by up to 40% within the first week. The third habit, the game changer, could transform your sleep and potentially save your life. Subscribe now to join thousands who refuse to accept dangerous nighttime awakenings as inevitable. Now, before we jump into these life-changing habits, let's take a moment to understand what's really happening in your body when you find yourself making those midnight trips to the bathroom. You see, nighttime urination isn't actually about your kidneys getting weaker or your bladder shrinking as you age. That's a common misconception that keeps people suffering unnecessarily. The real culprit is something called fluid redistribution. Throughout the day, as you're standing, sitting, and moving around, gravity causes fluid to accumulate in your lower extremities. Your legs and feet are essentially acting like sponges, soaking up excess fluid from your bloodstream. You might not even notice any visible swelling, but trust me, that fluid is there. Then something interesting happens when you lie down to sleep. Your body begins what's called the supine redistribution process. All that fluid that's been sitting in your legs suddenly gets released back into your circulation. Your heart has to work harder to pump this extra volume, and your kidneys respond by ramping up urine production to eliminate what they perceive as excess fluid. At the same time, your brain's production of something called antidiuretic hormone, or ADH, naturally decreases with age. This hormone is supposed to tell your kidneys to slow down urine production while you sleep. But when ADH levels drop, your kidneys keep working overtime, filling your bladder just when you need uninterrupted rest the most. Add to this the fact that the communication pathways between your brain and bladder become less efficient over time, and you've got a perfect storm. Minor bladder sensations that your younger self would have easily ignored now feel urgent and demanding, pulling you out of deep sleep and into the bathroom. But here's the good news. Your body hasn't forgotten how to sleep through the night. It just needs some gentle guidance to remember its natural patterns. These 3 habits work by addressing each component of this complex process, helping your body return to the restful nights you remember from your younger years. Let's start with habit number 1, and this is the one that most seniors get completely wrong, which is why they continue to struggle night after night without understanding why. Habit number 1 is master your fluid timing, not just your fluid amount. Now, I know what you're thinking. You've probably been told to drink less water in the evening, and maybe you've tried that with limited success. But the problem isn't how much you drink. The problem is when you drink it. Here's what happens when you consume large amounts of fluid after 6 in the evening. Your kidneys need time to process that fluid, filter it, and prepare it for elimination. But when you load up on liquids late in the day, you're essentially asking your kidneys to work the night shift. They're processing all that fluid right when you want them to slow down and let you sleep. Recent studies from major medical centers have shown that seniors who consume most of their daily fluid intake before 5 in the afternoon experience significantly fewer nighttime interruptions. We're talking about a potential 40% reduction in bathroom trips just by shifting when you hydrate, not how much you hydrate. But it's not just water we need to think about. That innocent cup of herbal tea after dinner, that small glass of juice with your evening snack, even that spoonful of soup broth, they're all contributing to your nighttime wake-ups. The solution is front-loading your hydration. Drink the majority of your fluids in the morning and early afternoon when your kidneys are naturally more active and efficient. After 5 in the evening, begin tapering off gradually. By 8 or 9 at night, try to avoid drinking anything except perhaps small sips if you're taking medications. This doesn't mean you should become dehydrated. It means you're working with your body's natural circadian rhythms instead of against them. Now, I can already hear some of you thinking, but what if I get thirsty at night? Here's a little-known fact: that nighttime thirst you sometimes feel isn't always about dehydration. It's often about habit and mouth breathing during sleep. If you're genuinely concerned about hydration, focus on getting adequate fluids earlier in the day, and consider using a small humidifier in your bedroom to keep your airways moist. This brings us to habit number 2, which addresses another major contributor to nighttime bathroom visits that most people never consider. Habit number 2 is eliminate the hidden bladder irritants that are sabotaging your sleep. You see, certain foods and beverages don't just add fluid to your system. They actually irritate the bladder lining and increase the urgency and frequency of urination. It's like having tiny alarm bells going off in your bladder all night long. The biggest culprits are things you might consume regularly without realizing their impact. Coffee and caffeinated teas, even if you have them hours before bedtime, can continue affecting your bladder throughout the night. Caffeine is not only a mild diuretic, meaning it increases urine production, but it also makes your bladder more sensitive to even small amounts of urine. Alcohol is another major offender, and this might surprise you. Even a small glass of wine with dinner can suppress your body's natural production of that important antidiuretic hormone I mentioned earlier. When AD levels drop, your kidneys produce more urine and you wake up more frequently. Plus, alcohol disrupts your sleep cycles, making it harder to fall back asleep after those bathroom trips. Then there are the foods that many seniors eat regularly without realizing their bladder-irritating properties. Citrus fruits like oranges and grapefruits, tomato-based products, spicy foods, chocolate, and even artificial sweeteners can all increase bladder activity. When you consume these in the evening, you're setting yourself up for a restless night. The solution isn't to eliminate these foods entirely. It's about timing and moderation. If you love your morning coffee, enjoy it. But try to avoid caffeine after 2 in the afternoon. If you enjoy a glass of wine, consider having it with lunch instead of dinner. Swap that evening orange for a less acidic fruit like a banana or some berries. Here's what I recommend trying for 1 week. Keep a simple food diary noting what you eat and drink after 3 in the afternoon and track your nighttime bathroom visits. You'll likely start to see patterns emerge. Maybe it's that cup of decaf coffee that isn't as decaf as you thought. Maybe it has the tomato sauce on your dinner pasta, or that piece of dark chocolate you have as an evening treat. Small changes in what you consume in the evening can lead to dramatic improvements in your sleep quality. Many of my viewers report seeing significant changes within just 5 to 7 days of making these adjustments. Now, let's move on to the third habit, and this is the one that most people overlook entirely, yet it might be the most important of all. Habit number 3 is activate your body's natural fluid management system through strategic movement and positioning. Remember that fluid redistribution I talked about earlier. Well, you can actually control when and how it happens instead of letting it sabotage your sleep. Here's the key insight. That fluid that accumulates in your legs during the day doesn't have to wait until you lie down to be released. You can help your body process it earlier in the evening when your kidneys are still active and efficient. This is where strategic movement and positioning become game changers. First, let's talk about gentle movement. When you spend long periods sitting or standing, your circulation slows down and fluid pools in your lower extremities. But light, consistent movement helps activate your lymphatic system, which is like your body's internal drainage system. Just 15 to 20 minutes of gentle walking in the late afternoon or early evening can help mobilize that trapped fluid and encourage your body to eliminate it before bedtime. But here's the secret weapon that most people never try: leg elevation. About 2 hours before your usual bedtime, spend 15 to 20 minutes lying down with your legs elevated above the level of your heart. You can do this by lying on your bed or couch and propping your legs up on pillows. What this does is reverse the effects of gravity, helping that accumulated fluid drain back into your central circulation where your kidneys can process it. The timing of this is crucial. You want to elevate your legs early enough that your kidneys have time to filter and eliminate the extra fluid before you're ready to sleep. If you do this too close to bedtime, you'll still end up with nighttime awakenings. But get the timing right, and you'll eliminate much of the fluid that would otherwise disrupt your sleep. For those of you dealing with more noticeable swelling in your legs and feet, consider talking to your doctor about compression socks. These aren't just for people with serious circulation problems. Mild compression can help prevent fluid accumulation during the day, reducing the amount that needs to be processed at night. But there's another component to this habit that's equally important, and it has to do with strengthening a group of muscles that most people never think about but that play a crucial role in bladder control. I'm talking about your pelvic floor muscles. These are the muscles that support your bladder, and they're the ones responsible for helping you hold urine when your bladder sends those urgent signals. After age 60, these muscles naturally begin to weaken, which means even small amounts of urine in your bladder can create a sense of urgency that wakes you up. The good news is that these muscles respond beautifully to gentle, consistent exercise. The most effective exercises are called Kegel exercises, named after the doctor who developed them. Here's how to do them correctly, because many people get this wrong. First, identify the right muscles. These are the same muscles you would use to stop the flow of urine midstream. But don't actually practice stopping your urine flow, as this can cause problems. Instead, when you're sitting or lying comfortably, gently contract these muscles as if you're lifting them up and in. You shouldn't feel your abdominal muscles, buttocks, or thigh muscles working. If you do, you're using the wrong muscles. Once you've identified the correct muscles, practice the 3-10-10 method. Contract the muscles gently and hold for 3 seconds, then relax for 10 seconds, repeat this 10 times. As you get stronger, you can work up to holding for 10 seconds and relaxing for 10 seconds. Aim to do this routine 3 times per day. The beautiful thing about these exercises is that you can do them anywhere. While watching television, during your morning coffee, or even while reading. No one will know you're exercising, but after 3 to 4 weeks, you'll notice a significant improvement in your ability to control your bladder, especially during those vulnerable nighttime hours. Now, let me address something that many of you might be wondering about. What if you're already taking medications that affect urination? This is where timing becomes absolutely critical, and many doctors don't emphasize this enough when prescribing these medications. If you're taking diuretic medications for blood pressure or heart conditions, the timing of when you take them can make a huge difference in your sleep quality. Many people take their medications with dinner or before bed because it's convenient and they're less likely to forget. But this means the medications are working hardest right when you want to sleep. If you're currently taking diuretics in the evening, talk to your doctor about shifting them to earlier in the day. Many people find that taking these medications in the morning or early afternoon allows them to eliminate the excess fluid during their waking hours instead of during the night. This simple change in timing without changing the medication or dosage can dramatically improve sleep quality. The same principle applies to other medications that can affect urination, including some blood pressure medications, antidepressants, and even over-the-counter antihistamines. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making any changes, but don't be afraid to ask about optimizing the timing of your medications for better sleep. Now, let us talk about putting all of this together, because the real magic happens when these three habits work in harmony with each other. Think of your body like a symphony orchestra. Each habit is like a different section of the orchestra, and when they're all playing together in sync, you get beautiful, harmonious sleep. Start with habit number 1 tomorrow morning. Begin front-loading your fluid intake, consuming most of your daily liquids before 5 in the afternoon. Pay attention to those hidden bladder irritants, especially caffeine and alcohol, and try to avoid them in the evening hours. Then add in habit number 2 over the next few days. Start noticing which foods and drinks might be contributing to your nighttime awakenings. You don't need to eliminate everything at once. Just start with the most obvious culprits and see how your body responds. Finally, incorporate habit number 3 into your evening routine. Set aside time for gentle movement in the late afternoon, practice your leg elevation about 2 hours before bed, and begin those pelvic floor exercises. Remember, these muscles need time to strengthen, so be patient and consistent. Here's what you can realistically expect if you implement these habits consistently. Within the first week, many people notice a reduction in the urgency they feel when they do wake up at night. The sensation feels more manageable, less panic-inducing. Within 2 to 3 weeks, you'll likely find that you're waking up fewer times overall. And after a month of consistent practice, many of my viewers report sleeping through the night regularly for the first time in years. But here's something important to remember. This isn't about perfection. There will still be nights when you wake up once or maybe twice. That's normal, especially if you're dealing with other health conditions or experiencing stress. The goal isn't to never wake up at night. The goal is to reduce those awakenings to a manageable level and to make sure that when you do wake up, you can fall back asleep easily. Let's also address some common concerns that seniors often have when making these changes. First, many people worrying about becoming dehydrated if they reduce their evening fluid intake. Remember, you're not reducing your total fluid intake. You're just shifting when you consume those fluids. Make sure you're getting adequate hydration during your morning and afternoon hours. Second, some people worrying that gentle exercise in the evening will make them too energized to sleep. The key word here is gentle. We're talking about slow, easy movement, not vigorous exercise. A leisurely walk around your home or neighborhood, some gentle stretching, or simple leg movements should energize your circulation without overstimulating your nervous system. Third, you might be concerned about the pelvic floor exercises. These are very gentle exercises and they shouldn't cause any discomfort. If you experience pain or discomfort, you may be contracting too hard or using the wrong muscles. Consider asking your doctor for a referral to a pelvic floor physical therapist who can make sure you're redoing the exercises correctly. Now, I want to share something personal with you. I've been working with seniors and their families for years, and one of the most heartbreaking things I see is how sleep deprivation affects every aspect of a person's life. When you're not sleeping well, you're not just tired. You're more prone to falls, your thinking isn't as sharp, your mood suffers, and you don't enjoy the activities you used to love. But I've also seen the incredible transformation that happens when someone reclaims their sleep. Suddenly, they have energy for their grandchildren again. They want to travel, to try new activities, to engage with life in ways they hadn't in years. Good sleep isn't just about feeling rested. It's about feeling alive and engaged with the world around you. These 3 habits I've shared with you today aren't just about reducing nighttime bathroom trips. They're about giving you back the quality of life that comes with restorative, peaceful sleep. They're about helping you feel confident and in control of your body again. They're about waking up in the morning feeling ready to embrace whatever the day has in store. I want to emphasize that these changes don't require any special equipment, expensive supplements, or dramatic lifestyle overhauls. They're simple, natural approaches that work with your body's existing systems. Your body remembers how to sleep well. It just needs some gentle guidance to get back on track. As you begin implementing these habits, be patient with yourself. Change takes time, especially when we're working with patterns that have been established over months or years. Some nights will be better than others, and that's completely normal. Focus on progress, not perfection. Keep a simple sleep diary for the first few weeks. Note what time you stop drinking fluids, what you eat for dinner, whether you did your leg elevation and pelvic exercises, and how many times you woke up during the night. This will help you identify which changes are having the biggest impact for you personally. Remember, everyone's body is different. While these habits work for the vast majority of people, you might find that one particular habit makes a bigger difference for you than the others. That's perfectly fine. Use what works best for your situation and don't feel like you have to follow every detail exactly as I've described. Also, don't hesitate to share these strategies with your healthcare providers. Most doctors appreciate when their patients take an active, informed approach to managing their health. These habits complement medical treatment beautifully and can often reduce the need for medications or more invasive interventions. If you're currently working with a urologist or other specialist for bladder issues, let them know about the changes you're making. They may have additional suggestions specific to your situation, and they'll likely be impressed with your proactive approach. Now, let's talk about maintaining these habits long-term because that's where the real benefits come in. The first few weeks require some conscious effort and attention. But once these habits become part of your natural routine, they'll feel effortless. Drinking most of your fluids earlier in the day will become automatic. Avoiding evening caffeine will feel natural. Taking time for gentle movement and leg elevation will become as routine as brushing your teeth. The key to long-term success is starting slowly and building gradually. Don't try to implement all 3 habits perfectly from day one. Pick the one that seems most manageable for you right now and focus on that for a week. Then add the second habit and finally the third. This gradual approach is much more sustainable than trying to change everything at once.
Also, remember that life will sometimes interfere with your routine. You might have a dinner out with friends where you drink more wine than usual, or a stressful day where you forget about your leg elevation routine. Don't let these occasional disruptions derail your progress. Simply return to your habits the next day and keep moving forward. One of the most rewarding aspects of these natural approaches is how they often improve other aspects of your health as well. The gentle exercise helps with circulation and overall mobility. The improved sleep quality boosts your immune system and mental clarity. The better hydration habits support kidney health and overall well-being. You're not just solving a sleep problem. You're supporting your entire body's ability to function optimally. I also want to address the emotional component of this issue because it is something that often gets overlooked. Dealing with frequent nighttime awakenings can be incredibly frustrating and demoralizing. You might feel embarrassed about the problem or resigned to it as just another part of aging. These feelings are completely understandable, but they're not accurate. Nighttime urination is a common issue with practical solutions. You're not broken, and you're not powerless. By taking control of these simple daily habits, you're demonstrating to yourself and your body that you're still the one in charge. That sense of empowerment and control is incredibly healing in itself. As you begin to see improvements in your sleep, you'll likely notice improvements in your confidence and overall outlook as well. There is something deeply satisfying about solving a problem through your own informed actions rather than simply accepting it or relying solely on medications. Finally, I want to encourage you to be an advocate for yourself throughout this process. If you have healthcare providers who dismiss your sleep concerns or suggest that frequent nighttime awakenings are just a normal part of aging, don't accept that. While some changes in sleep patterns are normal as we age, waking up multiple times every night is not inevitable, and it's not something you have to live with. Share what you've learned from this video with your doctors. Show them your sleep diary. Ask about optimizing medication timing. Request referrals to specialists if needed. You deserve healthcare providers who take your sleep quality seriously and work with you to find solutions. These 3 habits I've shared with you today have the potential to transform not just your nights, but your entire quality of life. Better sleep affects everything from your physical health and mental clarity to your relationships and ability to enjoy daily activities. The ripple effects of sleeping well extend far beyond just feeling more rested. You have the power to reclaim your nights and wake up feeling truly refreshed. Your body hasn't forgotten how to sleep peacefully through the night. It just needs some gentle guidance and the right conditions to remember what it already knows how to do. Start tonight with whichever habit feels most doable for you. Maybe it's simply stopping all fluid intake after 8 in the evening. Maybe it's elevating your legs for 20 minutes while watching your evening television program. Maybe it's beginning those gentle pelvic floor exercises during commercial breaks. Whatever you choose to start with, know that you're taking a powerful step toward better sleep and better health. Your future well-rested self will thank you for the commitment you're making today. Sweet dreams are not just a thing of the past. They're absolutely within your reach, starting tonight. Which of these 3 habits resonates most with you? Which one are you planning to try first? I'd love to hear about your experience in the comments below. And if you found this information helpful, please share it with other seniors in your life who might be struggling with the same issue. Together, we can help more people rediscover the joy of sleeping peacefully through the night. Remember to subscribe for more evidence-based health strategies that help you take control of your well-being naturally. Until next time, here's to your best sleep yet.